Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Super Bowl LVI. I don't know what Greek numbers mean, but L is like a 7, and V is like a 4, and I is a 2. So Super Bowl 742 was amazing. In a new stadium with a newly revived Rams championship team, the team that killed football in L.A. brought football back to L.A. The game is great, and the Bengals did their job on another manic Sunday. We needed that game. A little bit of corporate thirstiness and a stadium full of vaccinated human beings. God, you know what? It felt like an older time with football, family, and the amazing America we all know. The America full of hope, inspiration, apple pie, and racism. Yes, racism. The day after arguably one of the better halftime shows in history, not the best, that was this one, and it will never be topped. Fight me in heels in the rain like he did it. But this year, the talent on the biggest stage in the world was amazing. Dr. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, and Eminem. When it was announced, I put it on my calendar. And I'm not a football guy. First of all, any sport that can also be played by 5-year-olds isn't a sport to me. It's a game. A sport is when, it's possible for you to die on fire. However, I do respect the talent and insanity it takes to run into another 300-pound man at full speed repeatedly. That being said, the game was great, but the halftime show was epic. I mean, some of the greatest artists of our lifetimes pulled off an impossible show, and it went off without a hitch, and it was so satisfying. And the next day on social media, it was 100% positive, right? Yep, positively racist. Republican and racist Charlie Kirk, I could have just said Republican, racist is implied. He said, the NFL is now the league of sexual anarchy. This halftime show should not be allowed on television. Sexual anarchy as opposed to Jennifer Lopez and Shakira? Or how about Lady Gaga? Or Gwen Stefani and Sting? Or Timberlake and the Jackson Titty incident? Wonder what the difference was with these performers. Sean Spicer tweeted, what was the message of this halftime show? Well, Sean, I think it was buy more Pepsi, assholes, as it always is. But question, Sean, what was the message of Springsteen's or The Who's or the Rolling Stones or Katy Perry's halftime show? And what, again, could possibly be the difference? Hey, Sean, what the hell was the message of this? Were you auditioning to be the new bird on the Fruit Loops box? And this? What, you trying to take Captain Crunch's job? You know, racism is so embedded in our society that when some of the best, baddest ass artists to ever make music, artists who have made you shake your body like a horny pony would, shout out to the greatest, they can't just be enjoyed. They've got to be separated by the worst in our society as different because they're black? What year is this? 1822? You know, someone showed up on my Twitter and called Dre, Snoop, 50, Kendrick, and Mary J. Blige hoodlums. Let me correct you. You bass-ackward white trash douchebag. If you want to call them hoodlums, use the correct modifier. They are billionaire hoodlums, you racist, hate-mongering testicle wart. And never forget, California knows how to party. California. Everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. How you guys doing? With me, as always, the lovely bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There could be only one.
So this year, in the last 6 months, we have now had 2 dead bodies across the street from the studio.
We just saw a guy die.
We have started the show. We started a little bit late because cops, fire trucks, and helicopters are...
Well, let's be clear. We started late because I called you and said, I think there's a dead body outside the gate.
After you thumped in your car on the way here.
We still think that... how did the offenders dented in? What's going on here?
It wasn't me. I think he was stabbed or shot because... So I pulled in...
In North Hollywood, you can bet it's one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No one's using a Novichok. No one's using a Russian poison.
He had a heart attack while jogging.
Yeah, not in North Hollywood. No.
There's not a lot of jogging
man, I was out
on.
running my laps, man. That's what I'm sorry, we're not. By the way, how come? Okay, so I get it. Okay, I get it. But we live in North Hollywood. It's heavily Latino.
We don't live in North Hollywood.
Sorry, our shop's in North Hollywood. It's heavily Latino. I know that the Latino people do like, I'm a white guy. What are we doing? I know they make fun. You know, I'm just saying.
Gringo.
Well, so 3 guys were trying to stop me on the corner from turning into this corner, which is right where the dead body is. Well, I thought they were trying to stop me to rape me.
Because you're smoking?
No, because,
You are rapeable, though.
That's in any town.
Right,
Look,
exactly.
I mean,
And then you want to talk about not racist? That crosses every line.
Anyway, so as soon as I pulled into the gate, cops, a bunch of them, started squealing in, and
or as you say,
squealing in, and a dude jumped out and set up a perimeter, blocked off all 4 directions.
There's yellow tape across everything.
Yeah, and so I just made it to the podcast, and then they get out, and this guy is on the street, and they start trying to roll him over, and I'm thinking, oh, it's a homeless guy. That's also very common here. And he's drunk and he's passed out, and they're pulling on him, and I've seen dead body weight before, and he just kept flopping back. That's when I called you and said, I think there's a dead body out here, and you go, are you serious?
And I went, and I went out, and I shouldn't say, "Are you serious?" Because we had one earlier. We had.
Wait a second, we're just blowing right past the fact that you said, I've seen a lot of dead bodies being dragged.
Right.
Wait a second, what?
Wait, what was Krusty? Clumsy, not Krusty.
Oh my gosh,
Krusty's a really bad.
Krusty is a clown.
That's a very bad gang name. What's up, Krusty?
Gosh.
So anyway, so I feel bad. So I have to be honest. I just watched them try to revive. And I gotta say, cops are. Look, cops have got a lot of bad press in the last couple of years. I just watched 4 cops bust their ass to save this guy's life.
Bring him back.
Bust their ass. And they did it. And one cop's got to be dead. He was cranking on this guy's chest for, I was 4 or 5 minutes. And Till the paramedics.
That's what I was going to say. So before I called you, I thought homeless guy, and they hadn't started chest compressions yet. And I was watching them, of course, keeping the gate clicked open, watching the whole thing. And they rolled up his shirt, and all you could see right here was just bright red. But I didn't see it anywhere on the sidewalk or anything. So I don't know if it was just being soaked up in his clothes. So it must have happened right before I got here.
His shirt was bright red too.
Oh, it was
black
too?
Shirt up here. So anyway, that's a second body in a year.
So now there's a sheet over him.
It's great to know that I watched the paramedics rolled in. The firemen came in. They brought some equipment. Then the fireman kind of checked them out. One of the firemen was like, you can see the fireman kind of like. And then the stretcher rolled in. And they grabbed the blanket and they put it over him. So, man, sorry. I
fairly traumatic opening to today.
For today, yes, it was. But it's good to know the neighborhood where the studios is just getting better and better.
Speaking of dead bodies,
Super Bowl.
Speaking of losers,
Speaking of races, this whole Super Bowl thing, I am so confused.
Right.
We watched the Super Bowl with our crew, our favorite people, and that's actually what the invite said. It's just the crew.
Right.
So all 4 of them happened to be black. And then us 2, we're the minority. Mm-hmm. And Mahogany's kids were there too. And it was really fun. And we watched the Super Bowl halftime. We came running in and we were all dancing and singing along and laughing. And then we went back to our lives. I didn't think about...
Wasn't even a thought.
It didn't seem...
No.
No, that
didn't
was
strike
the weird...
you as like, what is this? What is the message of this?
Yeah, here's the weirdest thing.
When did we ever want to know the message of the halftime?
But Sean Spicer, of all people, dude, you by the way, you were in charge of messaging for the White House, and all you did was you were in charge of it, and none of us knew what the fucking message was. What are you talking about? Like, you came in and you didn't know. Right. You were just yelling at the camera at one point for what the moron told you to say.
Yep.
So, and he's like, what was the message? When did the halftime show ever have a message? Remember when Springsteen broke it down and talked about he just
talked about
out.
Family values. There's no message.
Yeah,
and he slammed his crotch into the cameraman that one time.
Show me when they asked about the message.
Never.
When it was white people.
It's in the Armageddon update. We actually pointed out, like, I went down the list. Gwen Stefani and Sting. What was the message there? How about the Rolling
What about
Stones?
Janet Jackson's nipple?
What's the message with football? What's the message with the rest of the
message was boobers.
Wait, what?
His new word is boober.
Boobers.
Oh.
I like your boobers. That's what he's been saying.
Netflix, somebody boobers.
It's his new word. It's very cute. I like it.
That's a shirt.
My niece
I feel like that's a
was up
Titus
from
Podcast
Camp
shirt.
Pendleton this weekend, and she was in the car with me, and I had to answer it on speaker. And the first thing I said was, "Don't say anything weird," which is what she always says to her boyfriend when he goes on speaker. And he instantly said, "You got pretty boobers," and she was like, "Oh my god," which is why you do it.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So we've had a murder across the street. Actually, as we pulled in, the cop goes, as we walked in, you called me, and I walked out in the parking lot to look at it, and one of the cops is screaming, "It's a crime scene! It's a crime!" He's yelling at one of the other cops. He goes, he's going, "Yellow tape crime scene." I'm like, well, who's the cop he's yelling at?
That's what I was wondering.
Who's the cop that guy's going, "It's a crime scene, get the yellow tape"?
He's across the street, like getting a soda, you know.
It was like,
I was wondering why he
Don
was screaming.
Knotts your backup? Like, why are you screaming?
Yeah, that was my question. Back to the Super Bowl though, because you just took a hard right turn again.
My you know me, ADD.
But there's some
Flag on the play,
really
you wanna say?
racist shit. Like was that a representative that tweeted these hoodlums, or as you say, hoodlums?
The hoodlums are here. Yeah, they said that, and I responded, billionaire hoodlums. Remember, billionaire hoodlums, you son of a bitch.
He said Ted Nugent, Kid Rock, and someone else would have done a better job.
God bless the USA. Greenwood. Yeah. Lee Greenwood would have been a better show.
Uh-huh.
Would it? Really? So you'd have a pedophile, a guy who's been arrested repeatedly.
Yeah.
Well, either or.
Right.
I mean, I think it's between Kid Rock and Ted Nugent you can pick. And then Lee Greenwood, which is a bizarre combination. So they got the guy in a wheelchair and
they said that it was sexual. What was it?
What?
What everybody's saying?
Sexual anarchy.
Sexual and something else, but it was all like exploitation or something.
This should never have been on television.
And the guy says Kid Rock would have done a better job. And I really think for family Christian values, I'm like,
with the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Right. Have you read any of Kid Rock's lyrics?
Right. Yeah, the cheerleaders, their shorts are actually cut above their vaginas at this point. And they're
it's
saying,
all labia and...
It is sexual anarchy. That's the name of the team, the Labias. They call it the Labias.
The Los Angeles Labias.
All right, they're on the field, though. So I thought the show was awesome.
It was.
You got to remember, I don't think people quite get. We are so used to the Super Bowl show being so crazy, and to all the crew out there that makes that happen, I want to acknowledge you guys. So I remember the first time when Springsteen came out, and they set it up in 2 minutes, and Springsteen had a full stage, the band was on stage, and they started.
Yeah.
Then they did Prince, and Prince had the Prince symbol as big as this entire studio as a stage, and they set it up in 4 minutes.
Well, it was regular size, but he's really
it was actually as big as this table, but he's diminutive. He's a tiny elf person. He's a Hummel. He was a Hummel. He was a Hummel.
They had
that
to really
rocked.
telephoto lens into.
So to the crew. So what they did this time was really interesting. I'm always thinking of production, like how are they going to do it this year? Because you got Dr. Dre, you got Eminem, you got Snoop, you got Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, and Kendrick Lamar. That's a lot of people. So how do you do that? And it was cool. They rolled out these sets on trailers.
That was like a super group.
Did you say Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah.
I thought you just said Bruno Mars.
No, that was a couple years ago.
Okay. I thought, did you think that was Bruno
all black
Mars
guys
the
aren't the
whole
same.
time? I know. That's what I was worried about, that you said that.
I'm sorry. As much as I know black music, you have the balls to say that to me?
I can't believe you just said black music. I don't think that's a thing.
Not anymore, you're right.
We'll have to check your racism.
By the way, some of it's accidental, and I don't mean it.
Times,
apologies.
New York Times has now posted that the NFL was aware that Eminem planned to kneel during the halftime performance.
Yeah, that's what they said 2 days later.
Yeah.
That's what they said 2 days.
Yeah.
So it was I wanted him to punch me in the mouth. No, I wanted it. No, I asked him to do it. You kidding me? He didn't kick my ass. I wanted all that. I wanted him to kick my ass.
They said they wanted to amplify the league's social justice efforts.
Really? So Eminem's the guy they wanted to do that.
Exactly.
I will say this.
So they don't want to give Colin Kaepernick a job, but they want Eminem. They want the guy who hates everybody and told everybody to fuck off. You know what? Who can we get a spokesman to really help us in social situations?
They could have brought Colin Kaepernick back up on stage.
Oh, that
made
would
a
have
big deal,
amplified.
and everybody went down.
That would have
took a knee.
amplified.
Yeah.
You want to amplify,
You're
you fucking
hired
liar?
for next year.
That would have been badass if Colin
would've been
Kaepernick had
huge.
walked up to say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Colin," and he walked up, and then they all took a knee, and
That would have been so powerful.
Oh, I just got chills. Just the thought of that's
Right.
awesome. Just
I saw someone tweeted today that everybody's so up in arms that Eminem kneeled. It's just the biggest deal ever, except there was no national anthem
Right.
playing. And they said, so it turns out it wasn't about kneeling during the national anthem at all.
Yeah, it was just about yeah. Well, this is what bothers me the most about it is that these are the best, baddest ass, most successful artists, period, in our lifetimes, really.
Yep.
But Yep. And to have, I never once went, oh, it's a lot of black people. I was like, oh, Snoop and Dre?
Right.
And Eminem?
Right.
Yeah, we were freaking out.
Yeah.
Every new person that came out, we were like, the funny thing was to me how upset our friends got that 50 Cent was on the stage. That's not West Coast. I thought this was a West Coast show.
Yeah,
and
they were
we
like,
were
one
like,
of these things just doesn't belong here.
and every time he would get in line with him or whatever, they'd be like, oh, fuck off. Like, we were like, well, all right then.
Was he hanging upside down? Was that an upside down?
Yeah.
That's
So how
cool.
long was he waiting for that part to start? I wonder.
Oh, I didn't know he was a bat. Why is he hanging? I didn't understand why he was hanging upside down, but okay.
He's trying to make change.
All right. How do I add my little difference to it? Okay. When M's going to kneel.
Right.
Why don't you hang
The
upside
thing
down?
about
as
Eminem-
opposed to the bat that created COVID. There you go. That he
Boom.
was hanging upside down for the bat that
Right.
created COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
The thing about Eminem kneeling was none of us really noticed it right away, right? Because they also made Dre sit down at the piano at the exact same time.
Right.
So what everyone was thinking was, holy crap, he
What's
can play
next?
the piano?
Yeah,
What songs he about? Did he play this in the song? And so nobody noticed Eminem, so they should like separate moments a little bit. When you coordinate
Well, then-
the halftime
Yeah, when
show
I'm in
next
charge.
year.
Yeah, oh man,
Things
it's
are
gonna break
heads are
some
gonna roll.
hearts. Gonna break
Moment,
some hearts.
space, moment. Give
Yes.
people time to absorb.
And that's why I think held it so long. That's why Eminem he held it for so long.
He really
it was
did.
It was really obvious.
But also,
wanted
he
it to
saw
be
the
obvious.
monitors and he was like, you guys could put the camera on me at any time now. Stop zooming in on Dre. Any moment now.
It was great. And again, I don't understand. The game. It's the only football game I watched this year. Just so you guys know, I said the thing about sports where you die on fire. Sports. This is just a game. I do have to say that I am always stunned at. It was early on. There was a one-handed catch, and that I'm just how did you run 60 yards, catch a ball that flew 60 yards, leap and catch it in one hand?
Leap 60 yards.
Yeah,
Yes.
you left another 6 yards and then caught it. Like, how did you? So there is a certain amount of expertise, and I don't know. If you can run into another 300-pound guy repeatedly over and over and over for a couple hours, I respect that.
Sure. It's really the human demolition derby is what it is. Let's call it what it is.
That in hockey too.
Okay, so think about you don't play sports. You don't play sports.
I play sports. I just don't watch them.
But settle down there, Spark Plug. Just bring it down just a notch.
I'm good.
You're not a football player. We've heard your sad high school football team story. Like that, I mean, like
I don't go out,
team
no.
sports.
Right.
You're like an
you play
extreme
currently.
sports.
Snowboarding,
Yeah.
Ninja Warrior stuff, which my hands are all tore up.
So
from
I'm
it.
just saying, look at how like you notice the signs of aging. This is an old person conversation already. Imagine if that were your job every day. So like you're not playing every day, but in a game, but you're practicing. You're out there doing. Imagine the wear and tear on your body that already
So
wears
Brady
and
retired
tears.
after 22 seasons, right?
Yeah,
Who
that's
did?
insane.
Brady.
Yeah.
It was a lot of seasons.
Imagine getting run over by linemen for 22 seasons, and then going. But even to last 22 seasons, and then they were like, he's retiring, and they were like, he's like, I'm not retiring, and then the next day, I'm retiring, because he woke up the next day and went, oh. Fuck! I can't.
It's like
I'm
after
retired.
you do a workout
Yeah.
and after the adrenaline comes down, you start to feel all the injuries.
Yeah.
You've been feeling. You came home from Ninja Sunday at Tony's house this week. It was more pain than I've seen you in on the day of ever before.
Because what I did was the night before, I came here and I did a karate workout that I haven't done in about a year.
Was dumb.
And I was like throwing like hundreds of kicks and punches and I knew it was bad because when I left here. My glutes hurt. It felt like someone had already kicked me.
Like chorus line kicks.
No, like roundhouse. And,
Not like
I do
not like Rocket.
I do a little Rocket stuff. He has to go. That's why I asked him to leave, dude. Because I got to start the music. The show tunes start. And
first, we're together like this.
I wondered.
I do hi-ya in the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
Dun, dun, hi-ya, dun, 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 and it's just.
That I would pay to see.
So racism, it's weird when people talk about a critical race theory, which is basically a theory that racism is so embedded in us we don't even notice it. The Super Bowl was a perfect example of it. Because if the next day all these white people come out and they're like, "Oh man!" Once someone said that too. "Oh, I can't believe it was only black dancers. There was no white dancers. There was only one white guy on stage." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
But also, isn't it about time? But also, Eminem is white. I keep
but why does
wanting
it matter?
to remind people
right.
that.
And first of all, that's what every minority has been living through.
Right.
Since this began.
Right.
It's always been white people on the billboards and white people in everything.
White Barbies.
White Santas. I never thought about that kind of stuff until Mahogany and Janine and I were having a conversation, and like Mahogany would talk about growing up and you buy Band-Aids. There's no black people Band-Aid, or there weren't. She'd have to put a bright, there is now, there are now. She'd have to put a bright pink Band-Aid on, or the Santa that they would buy for their tree was always an old white man, and which I'm sure was awesome for a lot of black people, especially in the South.
And also Jesus.
Everybody's white. Hallmark, all Christmas movies were white. It's like if you watch any Christmas movies now, which someone did say to me, "Oh, I don't love the ones that are all black actors," and I was like, imagine how black people have felt.
Yeah.
All the time, ever since until now.
Forever.
Yeah, so you can't go find a black actor Christmas movie for your little kid to watch. You have to show. It's the dumbest shit ever. So now everybody's terrified that they're losing something. Janine said on Sunday when we were sitting outside talking, when you guys were inside, she said, it's fear of black people, the oppressed, getting power, and that they're going to oppress.
Right.
I never thought that.
That's what she said. She said, she works in diversity and inclusion. That's actually her job. And she said, and I have a lot of friends that are black, she said. And she goes, and I'm black.
Said, I have a lot of black friends.
And she goes, I've never heard someone say, "Oh, I can't wait for us to, when we're in power, when we dominate and control them." She said, we just want to be treated equally. That's all. But white people, of course, are projecting.
Exactly.
There's a great, there's a very famous quote about that where they basically says, white people figure that if everyone else is treated equally, they've still lost.
Yes.
They've still lost.
Yes. Equality means them losing something.
What the fuck is everybody talking about, man? It just, I don't. So critical race theory. So now they don't want to teach it in schools. They don't want to. They're saying that it's going to make my kid feel bad. No, your kid seems to be pretty cool. It's going to make you feel bad because you're going to
project.
Because you're going to have the conversation with your son when he comes up and goes, "Wow, Mom, they were slaves forever. Wow, that sucks." Yeah. And then you're going to have that conversation with your child.
History. It's what happened.
Exactly. It's not critical race theory. It's actual facts of what happened throughout history, and that's what bothers me. And to have it spill over, especially in a sport where 70% of the players are black. It's like, do you even understand how racist you have to be to go, "Oh my God, there's so many black people at halftime"? Have you watched the game?
Yeah, right.
Did you see the game? Because
I know they got helmets on, but
it's just, you're a moron. Like racist. I've never said this. Wow, for a racist, that guy's really smart. I've never said that.
That sentence has never been uttered.
I've never heard someone where I thought, he makes a good point as a racist. That racist really gave me some insight into why he's racist.
Huh? Interesting.
Yeah, never said it. So the Super Bowl was pretty cool. It was an actual game. I think it was what ended up being a 2 or 3 point spread.
I'm looking at, because Charlie Kirk tweeted.
Oh my God. Sexual anarchy. That's the sexual anarchy.
Yeah. But Shaquille O'Neal, there's a whole article about how he was upset about the halftime show. And I'm looking at this like, what?
Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah, he's very upset. He did an interview with Hollywood Reporter. He said, because there's all that greatness packed into 12 minutes, I at least want 3 songs from Dre, 3 different ones from Snoop,
that's what
3 from Mary, 3 from Kendrick. He goes, that's at least an hour performance, but 12 minutes? So that's
as he said earlier, he goes, why we even put a game around that show?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Halftime show. That's, no.
That was the concert we've all waited 2 decades to see.
The game is the opener for them.
Great if
I didn't even watch the game.
I think it'd be great if this was a setup for a concert for Dre to come back. That'd be great.
He doesn't need to. He's a billionaire. Janine said one of her friends tweeted.
He's only worth $820 right now.
One of her friends tweeted that he had a divorce, though, right?
By the way, I just felt so much better about my divorce.
But her friend tweeted when we were all sitting around talking about it. She goes, "My friend just tweeted, man, this CRT halftime show was lit AF." He just get divorced?
Yeah, $3.6 million a month or a year in alimony. A year in alimony. A year? I think it's a year.
December 28th, an article came out that he was ordered to pay her $100 million up front. So she'll be okay, I think, for a while.
Wow. I feel so much better about my divorce.
I was reading Mary J. Blige.
I will never forget about Dre.
Nice.
No, don't encourage him. Mary J. Blige was saying that she went back on tour because of her divorce. She was ordered to, I think one of the songs is called Rent Money. And she says, I could not pay my rent, reveals she had to go on tour to pay for alimony following her divorce. She was one of the very few women that has been ordered to pay like an insane amount of money. So she wrote that song about
and
called it Rent Money.
Usually when someone has to pay that much money, something happened. It's not because something bad happened.
She had to pay her ex-husband $30,000 a month in alimony. Wow. He requested $120,000 a month to sustain the lifestyle that he had become accustomed to. Also, he says because of his physical manifestations of stress and emotional distress from this matter of getting divorced, which has caused him to be hospitalized because she left him. Which then made him become unemployable. This is all in the filing. And without her financial support, he would be, quote, destitute, and paying rent for himself has become, quote, impossible. And so she wrote the song Rent Money because she was giving him all this money and she had to...
I'm sorry. Did she not... What did she marry? A child?
How
old is
this guy? Is he 17 years old?
Yeah.
Also, Tony Braxton was in the same boat, same situation. Halle Berry.
I feel bad. I have to feel bad because I know what it's like, but that it's happening to women. I feel a little better that, it wasn't just me.
So Tony Braxton came out... Because in a
divorce, you feel like it's just you.
Tony Braxton came out with the song, Wasn't Man Enough for Me. So, it's like you did Love is Evil. I have to pay alimony? Well, here's a bit about her boobs.
Let me make a comedy special where I can kind of pay that alimony with, but it's going to be about how horrible she is.
You did. I say this all the time, that when we get Sound Exchange breakdowns of his top performing tracks that we're getting paid for, Boob Job, it's called Her Boob Job, was always like in the top 5, and it really felt like we paid off her boobs, we paid off the alimony.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite bits because at the end,
because you keep clicking on it.
No, I don't.
It's me at home, bitch. I'm gonna pick
bitch. So I'm so many specials down. I'd forgotten about it, and it was playing on. I was driving home listening to the John Mulaney channel, and they played me, and they played that bit. And I remember, and there's the bit where I go, I don't want a cash settlement. She had a plastic surgery, she had her lips done, her boobs done. I don't want, and that's an asset, right? I should get half of that, and I don't want a cash settlement. I want to leave court with a jar.
I love that. When you wrote that, I was like, all right, that was good. I liked it.
I like that you would appreciate it. All right, I can go with that one.
Well, as a comedian, you're like, well, actually, I wasn't a comedian then. But
you'd worked in comedy, so you were like, that's a nice piece right there.
I enjoy that.
Did you have a favorite moment of the halftime show?
I loved Mary J's sprawl, the death sprawl at the end, which is going to be used for memes and GIFs forever. I loved Dre playing the piano. I thought that was really cool.
Snoop dancing. Snoop is so smooth. Snoop is so smooth on it. I watch Snoop. I'm like, man, if that's what marijuana does to you, it should be forced. It should be mandated.
Somebody, I was looking at people's reactions on Twitter, and a guy tweeted that when he was 11 years old, his mom dragged him by his neck down to Tower Records to return Snoop's cassette that he had bought because he was, quote, a gang member. And he goes, and now all y'all white people watching the halftime show saying how adorable he is in his cornflower blue jumpsuit. Like, and it really has changed because do you remember
forget
back
that
then?
there was a song, "A Murder Was the Case That They Gave Me." Yeah, people forget that.
Or I'm calling 187 with my dick in your mouth, biatch.
I like the way you did it, like a morning,
with my dick
like
in
a
my
morning
mouth.
news.
Hey.
By the way, Snoop, who's done some great songs. Let me quote some of his lyrics right now, and then we'll go to Bob with the weather.
But you, back then when that first came out, it was a big deal, and you did not play it around your parents. And now all these old white people are like, all right. Hey,
I think cool. I think there's a point where it just grew up, and then if Martha Stewart is like, "Come on, Snoop," we're like, okay,
right.
Everybody loves Snoop. People that we know that are friends with him, everybody loves him and has a good story about him. I've never heard any bad stuff except for the murder stuff.
My question is this: how do you smoke that much pot and stay that skinny?
Oh, because of all the munchies. Well, isn't he like 7'2"?
He's really tall.
He's tall, yeah. Still though,
so
it's
just
because he's
stretched
always
out.
doing the sea walk. He exercises.
he just sea walks all the day.
I love that he was still doing the sea walk.
I got another set of these to do.
As he spells out "crip" with his feet, and everyone's like, "Yes, indeed."
I had to go very long, man. I spelled out supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's a long set.
I'm really surprised that, like, I was really into hip hop. Like when he came onto the scene.
Really, after listening to your album.
Surprising. Yeah.
By the way, Misanthroptics, please go to Apple TV, Apple Music to get his album Misanthropics. Very funny. Really,
Please
you're into
send-
hip hop.
Yeah,
Please
did you-
mail in. Please mail in your check, fill out the form, and Ken will return a album to you. On Sunday, we were all sitting around. The girls were and sang our first concert, and I said, "Oh, mine was Cypress Hill, Rollins Band, and the Beastie Boys." And Mahogany went and just looked at me. I was 14. That was my very first concert. And
Okay, bravo.
Cypress
Very nice.
Hill, they went and sat because I was on the very front, up against the stage in the pit. And when they were done, because everybody opened for Beastie Boys, they went up into the Lincoln assassination booth thing up there and ashed on all of our heads the whole time after, like, they were smoking through the show, through the next show.
Yep.
Like, it was crazy. But that was my first alone concert. My first concert with my mom was Jimmy Buffett. It was a little different.
Oh,
Wow, that's a needle switch.
Yeah, right.
Well, my mom actually dropped me off for that concert, and then I found out later was sitting with my agent in the very back because he was well connected, and so they went to dinner, and then she came in time to watch Beastie Boys. Of course, my mom did.
Mom's always super cool.
What was your first unaccompanied concert?
My very first concert with my dad was the Kinks. I got to see the Kinks in
Wow.
the theater in Northern California.
Your dad liked the Kinks?
No, he was
What did
dating
the
this
Kinks-
much younger girl
Oh,
at the
okay.
time,
That makes
and we went to
sense.
see the Kinks. And
What did they give me a?
God, it was an album.
He didn't know it was a band. He thought it was like
I didn't know
Yeah.
who they were. I didn't
We're
know.
gonna go
they
see
didn't-
a
see the
show.
Kinks.
I didn't know until they played Lola, right? That's the Kinks. Yeah, they
It
played.
is?
Yeah, I was a
Yeah.
little kid. That was my first
Like
concert.
la la la, that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Hello, LA. Yeah.
Okay.
And then my first concert I went to on my own. Actually, I took Shannon, my sister. She had to go see Power Station. She loved Duran Duran. They had formed this side band called Power Station with Robert Palmer. Might as well face it, you're addicted to love.
I know
And I
who
took
that
them
is.
to see it. I think I might have told this before. And I didn't Power Station. I didn't. They were all right. I sat and it was the Cow Palace. I sat it wasn't that packed, and I sat up in the seats. And Shannon came back, and I never forget it, man. She walks out of the crowd, and her shirt is ripped, And John Taylor had thrown a towel out and it was ripped, and she'd fought another girl for it. And that's why it was ripped, and her shoes were gone. They'd been stepped off her feet. I'm like, we need to get you to a doctor. What is going on? And she said, that was awesome. I'm like,
that sounds like Shannon, though.
Doesn't look like
this wasn't a backstage thing.
I'm sure Shannon gave it as good as she got.
She was right at the stage. And she stayed there the whole concert and got her. I mean, it was brutal.
I had that at My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult at the Masquerade in Atlanta, and I drove to Atlanta with my friend, didn't tell my dad, it was total sneak out. My dad was a pilot. He was gone all the time. And so I just went, and I had not yet experienced a real mosh pit. Like at Beastie Boys, Rollins Band, all that, I was squeezed, like scarily squeezed up against the stage and stuff, but there was a lot of security. But that night at the Masquerade, wow, that was terrifying. I got rolled under on the floor and people were pounding. Shit. And I left. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be out by myself.
I don't like this at all.
Daddy.
But you're tall. You got reach. You could do
that. As an adult,
I weighed 80 pounds.
For some reason, I had a weird thing when I was growing up. I was weird about going to concerts. I was really odd about it. I didn't want to. They scared me.
That's interesting.
All the people, I don't know what it was.
You still kind of have a little bit of claustrophobia stuff.
We went to the Eagles, and it was I'm over it now.
Eagles,
kind of like a chaotic.
So I got a call from Louise, my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, Wheezy gave him a call on the
She
horn.
said, I have 2 tickets to Bruce Springsteen. I'm not a Bruce Springsteen fan.
Do you want to go? Woman named Louise.
Do you want to go? And I said, sure. And I was well down on her list of people she asked. So I went to Springsteen, and that was the night I fell in love with Springsteen and E Street Band, because she was like bored the whole time, and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Was Wheezy the one that ended up sleeping with the janitor?
Yes.
Okay.
No, sorry, janitor/artist. He painted stuff too.
Oh, right.
And he was a dancer.
Oh, okay.
He was a dancer, artist, janitor. That she fell.
I just sent everybody we were with on Sunday a screenshot of this tweet that says, and Bae just answered, if you recognize everyone in the Super Bowl halftime show, it's time to schedule your first colonoscopy.
It's not funny.
Yeah, it is.
It's not funny at all.
It's pretty funny. Speaking of colonoscopies and being healthy, this episode brought to you by Athletic Greens, a company that I happen to really love.
Do you know I've gotten so are we out of it now? We have a new order coming, right?
We have a new order coming
because
there's a couple packets left.
So I've been getting it every day. Yeah, and I know what you've done. You've actually you've taken it aside, so you get to do it till the new stuff comes, and I don't get it.
It's
anymore.
called Survival of the Fittest.
So what happens is I've been getting it every morning, feeling great, and I noticed when it disappeared.
You had like 4 days,
and I know her. I know how selfish she is, and I knew damn well that we only had a few. I know that she's counted the days, and there's an order coming in on Friday, and she's like, well, I have 3 left. He's not getting any. He's old anyway. I'm getting these.
No, that would be, I would want you to have it more, because I would want you to live longer and more healthy and not have to take you to a doctor because you're not healthy. I'm not that evil.
Then I didn't get it. I didn't
mildly
get it
evil.
Last couple months.
I like that every woman is sitting there going, what do you mean you didn't get it? I sat and waited and didn't get it.
You didn't serve it to me.
You know where it is. Get off your ass and go get it.
It was not brought to me in my chambers, so I did not get my greens.
What is happening to you?
My athletic greens.
No, I have a little bell. Tingle, tingle, tingle.
This is why you don't get it.
But you're so sweet in the morning.
It's delicious.
Yes.
It's got kind of a tropical flavor, which I was not expecting. Cannot overstate how amazing it is that they have found a way to make greens taste this good. You get 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens. It really helps me with my gut health. It helps with your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging.
That's what I've noticed. Is I noticed that my energy is better, and until you stop bringing my greens when I've asked for them. I noticed that because we had this other green stuff. Remember that green stuff we used to buy years ago?
Yeah, it was nasty.
It was like eating
and I would
dirt
every
and
day,
lawn clippings.
I would hold my nose.
Yes, I would go. You had to get ready.
Yep.
And this stuff is awesome.
That's why when they first advertised, I was like, okay, we'll take it because I know I need it, right? And then when I tried it that day, I was shocked.
It's good.
I was really shocked.
It's good. And I did notice my level of energy is up. I noticed I felt better all the time.
It also supports better sleep quality and recovery, mental clarity and alertness. I do need that. And keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, go on their website and check this out. And you can actually go and look at what is in it, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, I need that.
Our buddy,
I can get all that in one. Okay.
Our buddy Andrew Rivers takes it, and he still looks like he's 14 years old.
He's going to look like he's 14 forever, but I was so shocked to find out that he knew what this was and that he's already been hip to it for years. I know. I was like, cool. And again, I say this, he credits that with him staying on the road throughout all cold, flu, COVID season, and he still hasn't gotten sick.
How did he get it?
So, Athletic Greens is going to make it easy for you to reclaim your health and arm your immune system. So they're going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Titus. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Titus to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. The D3 is the dropper stuff that you drop
Think of it as a mask for your immune system.
It really is. It's great. Right. It's a great idea right now, especially. I had a laser last week and my face fell off in the last week.
Looks great though.
I
can't tell.
It's
called a deep laser, right? It's like
it's called Active FX. It's a Fraxel laser, and it's legit. And I had it because my dermatologist suggested it because I started getting breakouts after I lost my mom on my chin and stuff. Well, now I'm healing from the laser and I'm like, what the hell did I do that for?
You don't have a thing. You're good.
Ken, I woke up the next day and my eyes were swollen shut.
Whole face is swollen.
Almost my whole face was swollen. Bright red. It looked like I fell asleep in the sun for 12 hours.
And there's no photos of this.
Oh, I took some pictures.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm not giving them to you because you'll put it right here.
No way
right now.
in hell she's letting me take pictures like that. No.
I did.
Good. Yeah, I know you did, but you wouldn't let me.
I sent one to my sister and she said, I don't like that. That's all she said. But you were very nice during it. You said, I told all the girls at the dermatologist's office yesterday, I said, yeah, he said I was just as beautiful as I always was. And they went, oh, and I said, yeah, but now I know he's lying sometimes when he says stuff like that. You were lying. That was a lie. Then my face started falling off.
Sloughing. The word is slough.
I was freaked out.
Like pieces were coming off?
Well, she would watch it and it'd be like, there'd be like, oh, there's a much pinker
skin and the new skin.
Is it like a peel? Pink. What is it?
It's a laser, but it's deep. So it basically is zapping way, way, way deep. Even did my eyelids and stuff. And
you were in pain for a couple days.
Causes
like
the old skin to go away.
That's what Trump and Biden are doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then it, for the next 6 months, it's regenerating and building collagen and stuff because it got fried. So it's healing underneath there. It might be bullshit. I don't know. But everybody online says it's awesome.
It's expensive bullshit, though.
So it better work.
Yeah,
better see.
That's by the way.
Better see something.
Don't we all feel like that? I don't care. Some people get mad. I don't care what a product costs. Just let it work.
Yeah.
Just let it work.
Well,
at least
you
don't waste my money.
You care.
I mean, of course you care. I don't want to just pay stupid, but if I'm going to pay real money for, it's like, so we want to get solar in our house. And I've been trading back and forth with a Tesla solar roof. We want to get a Tesla, and we have to get a loan, a HELOC loan to get it done. But it's going to be great. It'll be great. If we lose power and Armageddon starts, people are just going to come live in our house and kill us anyway. But it doesn't matter because I have solar and I have power. But that's not the point. The point is this. Tesla's been sending me emails for 2 years now about how this isn't right. So I moved the gas line. That's moved. It's 36 inches away from the panel. They said the panel that we upgraded to, that cost us all this money.
I know.
Which the guys who installed the panel said, yep, this is exactly what they want.
Yep.
Tesla's saying, nope, that's not enough.
I forwarded that guy because I saw this back and forth, and I forwarded him the email from the project manager for the gas company where he said, I am confirming that it's more than 36 inches away and the gas line, and here's the receipt for the work you had done. And they sent back that when they went out there, it was less. See attached photos where they've got a measuring tape and it's less than, and the panel's not right. And
so do you have that message from that guy? I
sent it to them.
From the city thing? Because I got to call that guy now. I have to call that guy and have them move it again.
Who knew that the gas line has to be a specific number of inches away from that? This is all stuff you find out.
Well, how much solar is going to, I mean, how much arc is going to go on? Is lightning going to shoot out of the panel and hit the gas line? I don't.
Is that why
I sometimes, like my dad was sold fiberglass equipment and worked around chemicals all the time. And he used to have to go testify in Sacramento at the Capitol for OSHA, Occupational Safety and Hazards Association, whatever. And he would say sometimes OSHA would just come in and just give arbitrary rules. Like, nope, you have to have a 9-foot ladder in your building. Yeah, but the ceilings are only 10 feet high. 9-foot ladder, always have to have a 9-foot ladder available at all times just in case. But no one would ever use a you have to have, and they would come in and fine them. Certain kind of masks and stuff. And it was all to be helpful, but it did get there was an over-regulation. And this feels like that because I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, when we laid the pipe, to the garage to add the panel there it had to be so many inches below I was very overwhelmed by how many rules and how many people then from different organizations have to come out and approve. Okay, yes, I sign off on that. Yes,
wow.
It takes forever
it's
to
like
do
trying
anything.
to tune in an old TV, perfectly.
2 years. We're 2 years into this, and I finally sent them a grumpy email yesterday. I finally sent Tesla a grumpy. I'm like, guys, I go, all you're telling me, no one's come out, no one's talked to me. Explain exactly what I need, when I need it, and how I need it. Yeah. And then he put something from the original thing before we even had the electrical done. He posted that. He goes, it's not 36 inches.
Well, he put pictures of after because you can tell it was after, and I don't know. Speaking of fire, don't have one unless it's in your lightning. Solo stove.
Wow, she's like you just teeing them up.
Yep.
Look at that.
We got our Solo stove.
It's like advertising T-balls. It's right
wicked,
there. Bang.
Wicked clean looking, like really smooth. This is such a cool product. And we then, with our friends on Sunday, promoted Solo Stove because Mahogany Bay just bought this house, and she goes, I want to do like an outdoor fire pit. And we were like, hold on, we have a company for you. And if you act now and use our promo code, and everybody was like, what? So she told me to send her pictures of it. It's a fire pit. It's really cool. You go on their website and you can look at pictures and video and stuff like that.
You put wood in it and how you do it, and it's
you don't have campfire fumes. You're not going to stink like you do.
It's the way it's scientifically designed. It's got all these holes and stuff in it, and the way you put it together and do it, it's like the ash it burns really efficiently. The ash,
they call it a smokeless design.
Smokeless. That's right. That's what it is.
Go ahead.
No,
super easy to start
a
fire
pit guy. I like fire pits. I like
easy cleanup. Unlike a regular
glass
one,
of wine,
you don't have
pit,
those burned hunks of wood. You just have pure white ash, a small amount of that. It's now that we're heading into, actually we're in California. We've already hit summer at the end of January. But it's a fun thing to have out on the weekend nights, like to do s'mores or drink. When I was in the South, part of gathering was you built a fire, and it was so much work and so much stink and so much cleanup, but this kind of solves that.
Yeah, this solves it.
So it's just all the fun and none of the...
Yeah, so it's stainless steel, so it looks really nice too, and they said it's a 360-degree airflow system.
Comes with a cover for when you're not using it, which I put on it.
Which we have in our backyard. So if you go to their website, shop now, you can get up to 30% off of fire pits all month long, and use promo code Titus at checkout to get an extra $20 off of the 30% off, plus lifetime warranty and free 30-day returns. So if you don't like it, you can return it for free. Just go to solostove.com, and remember, you get $20 off the 30% when you use promo code Titus. That's a really good deal.
Our best gatherings have been around in the backyard around the fire.
Oh man, it's
Titus
so true.
Proof. It's Titus falling into it proof.
And I cannot fall into it. Yes.
So. It's not big enough for your dumb friends to fall into. So solostove.com. Carry on.
Does it have a filter? How does it not?
It's a way the way it's
designed. Got holes, so it's stainless steel drum, and it's got.
So it goes somewhere though, right? The ash goes somewhere.
Yeah, the ash is still in it, but it doesn't. The smoke doesn't come out. It doesn't. It's
not going into your lungs. That's all you care about.
Designed,
it circulates, I guess, and the best way that I could say that without being a scientist or an engineer, it's. Right? It's
or an aerodynamicist.
It's the air.
All right. I made up a word that sounded like a word.
I don't know.
That sounded like a word.
Fire consultant did it.
What else has happened?
We're about to go to war.
We're still doing that. All right.
So, I was going to say, we're going to go see Grandma. That's what I always mean by what's happening. You're always like, we're going to war. We're all going to die.
No. So here's the problem with Putin. Putin is, he's 70 now. So many people want to leave their mark, right? I think these maniacal narcissist fucks want, and I'm talking about Ted Cruz. I'm talking about not just Russians. I'm talking about all of them. Everyone wants to leave their mark, and this guy doesn't care if it's in a good or a bad way. I don't think he cares if he has to kill a whole bunch of people, take over a country, and start a world war. He'll be like, well, I'm the guy who started the world war then. Aha, I'm the important guy. I think this
But he's been in power for like 30 years?
He supposedly
he wins every time. It's amazing.
Richest man in the world. He's supposedly worth like $260 billion.
Wow.
That's like the whole country's
he's been
GDP.
Yes, that's why they... No.
He goes into his bank account.
Yes, that's why they have the GDP of Italy. Russia has the entire... I'm not kidding. That's their GDP of Italy. That's why when people go, we're so scared of... Russia's going to... They're not us.
Yeah.
They're not us.
They don't... Nobody knows for sure, but they believe about 200 billion, but of course nobody really knows.
So do you know how impossible it is to spend $1 billion?
I could try.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You can't spend billions without $1 billion.
You would have to buy like
the Bahamas,
an island,
or as Chris Rock said, the colored blue. You have to pay for something that air. What do you? I own oxygen. Oh, how much you have? I had 200 billion. I bought all the oxygen. So what happened now is that he's got 130,000 troops wrapped around Ukraine right now. They are saying Biden just came out and gave a speech today. He was like, "Listen, do what you're going to do, but here's what's going to happen." He did something that Obama didn't do with Crimea, which Obama remember it was all quiet all of a sudden one day. They went into Crimea and they took over Crimea. Do you remember this?
Yep.
Like we didn't even know it was happening.
Yep. We're like, what's Crimea?
What? Yeah. Like who took over what and where and why? And so they were saying today that the people in Ukraine are happy that they're doing it differently. Like they're letting out all the intelligence. The intelligence community told Obama, "Don't tell anybody, just leave it like it is, see what happens." And they got a lot of shit for that. So now that they're telling everybody, and Putin supposedly pulled some troops back today. He says that basically we were doing maneuvers and we are pulling back now. They were just training exercises.
Yeah,
but we're going to leave the other 110,000.
And Biden said in his speech today that they don't have confirmation that they actually did remove.
No, they didn't move anybody. He just said it.
Biden also said if Russia decided to invade, it would have consequences here at home, gas and energy prices. He said that the administration is taking active steps to prevent any disruption, which sounds terrifying. Thank God we have
someone who's on top of shit.
Cars who don't use gas.
Oh, we have cars. Yeah.
But what else? What else?
Here's the problem. So because the stock market went up 300 points today because Putin said we were just doing training exercises. He didn't move anything, but he just said that. That's how he's going to, if he does this, he's going to fuck the world economy. Like, we're just coming out of COVID. Like, dude, be a dick 5 years from now.
Right.
Like, you know,
can you give us a minute? For
God's sake, Putin, give us a couple of days, for God's sakes.
But I want to leave my mark on the world.
Exactly.
So
no, everybody is better. Masks off. Let's do this.
He said if Russia attacks Ukraine, it would be a war of choice or a war without cause or a reason. I say these things not to provoke, but to speak the truth, because the truth matters. Accountability matters. And then he said, make no mistake, the U.S. will defend every inch of NATO territory with full force of American power. An attack against one NATO country is an attack against all of us.
And Austin, Austin went to France to talk to them, and he's basically they're circling the wagons with NATO countries. I don't know what they're going to do because Ukraine's not a NATO country. They really can't.
Here's my question. So one of Putin's biggest holdups is he wants us and NATO allies to confirm that Ukraine will not be allowed to be a part of NATO. Here's what I don't get about that. How could that be his stance when Ukraine is their own country? So we all have to agree to exclude another country.
That's not Russia.
That's not you either. Mm-hmm.
Because Putin has this problem.
It's crazy.
He says Putin has this, and he's wanted it for years. He wants to reunite the original Soviet Union. That was before the wall fell, and before they basically fucked it up so bad it broke off into 8 or 9 countries. Georgia, 8 or 9 countries.
Yeah.
So, by the way, this was great. You just went. I don't know how many countries. I edit shit, and I write and help you with jokes. I don't.
15.
It was 15 countries. So he says the greatest. He wants the empire of the Soviet Union back. So he's trying to rebuild it.
He's got 15 to go. Belarus was one of those, but that guy's up his butt. But that guy doesn't want to give up power. That guy is very interested in keeping power.
Yep.
So I imagine if it came down to that, Armenia, of course. Ukraine, of course, Uzbekistan. So there's 15. He's starting there. Obviously, why is Ukraine the one that he's been so interested in for so long?
Well, if you look,
what about all these?
It's got a big coast. It's got a big access to water. I think that's you always want a strategigic place where you have access to the sea. And that's why he took Crimea. He needed. He's
going in
Crimea
a
was
row,
small,
kind of, I guess.
Crimea was small. I guess there's an oil pipeline that goes through Crimea, and so he had access to that, and they could protect it.
Oh.
So he's strategic.
Follow the money.
It's like, dude, again. We're not even out of the pandemic yet, bro. Can you give us 3 years and then a war? 3 years and then a war. We're fine. We're fine with that. We'll probably be itching for one at that point anyway.
Yeah, right.
And we'll be like 3 years from now, we're all back, we're partying every day.
Time to kill people.
Kazakhstan, where what's his name is from.
Borat.
Yes. In his movie film.
Well, the Ukraine girls, right? They're apparently very, very appealing to look at, right? Ukraine girls really knock them out, right? They're very pretty girls.
The Ukraine girls are hip. I really.
What porn are you looking at now?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
you know what? I'm gonna have to do the camera on the computer. We have to all right, we have to go to the computer.
Parental controls.
The doll was ordered from the Ukraine.
All the way that it's represented in Borat is they have a lot of hair and warts on their chins. Mm-hmm. But of course, I'm sure he's 100% factual.
He also calls it their back pussy, which in the movie, I'm just like, wow, bro.
That movie.
Like Sacha Baron Cohen, to be that dumb, Ali G too, to be that funny dumb, you have to be so smart to be like. That's why when Zach was being Dave, I always say, man, and you've seen it. Every actor that plays dumb has to be a genius. Because you have to know what you're saying, how you're saying it, how it looks. Like there's 3 levels you have to know just to get the line out. Yeah. Sacha Baron Cohen is ridiculously funny.
He is. He's a national treasure.
So if Putin, I don't understand what happened. So if he takes over Ukraine, so he wants to exclude Ukraine out of NATO, but here's what, we can't do anything because they're not a NATO country. We can't bring NATO in, but we're friends with Zelensky. So we're supposed to help them. And Zelensky's been like, by the way, don't America, stop talking about this. Don't panic. Don't do this. Today they came out and went, hey guys, can you send us a bunch of stuff for camps that are housed like 300-500 people?
I felt like,
and we need medical supplies. We don't want weapons.
Did you see the video he made with his wife?
No.
Yesterday, after it came out that supposedly that Russia was going to invade on Wednesday, and he made a social media video with his wife showing that they hadn't left, that they were still at home. Of course, how do we know where he is? They're in their living room, and they have drinks and they're cheersing, and she's behind him like this. Like, she does not look at ease at all, and he's trying to reassure the people and calling for a day of unity on Wednesday instead, and she has this
She's
look
about 1
like,
second from going, we're so fucked! We're so fucked!
That's what it looks like. I thought, they did a couple takes of that.
Right.
Totally, I know that face.
A little more smiley. Yeah. A little more smiley. And she's like...
Less clenchy. Yeah. They're coming. This episode also brought to you by ButcherBox.
Yay!
Speaking of Putin, I don't know. You guys know we love this product. ButcherBox has stocked our freezer, our Armageddon freezer.
We had lobster tails that were awesome.
Oh yeah, we did eat the lobster tails. Yes, and gloated about how people always say they can't get them. We were like, oh, these are so good.
Well, we pay attention to the website. Pay attention to the website on ButcherBox. If you subscribe to ButcherBox, please go back repeatedly because they have bonus stuff that gets snapped up.
Their seafood is so good. Their salmon is awesome. If you haven't been listening, this is a subscription service. They send you the box to your house. You don't have to leave your house. 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, wild-caught seafood, and more. They source holistically, so it keeps the farmer, the animal, the planet in mind, which I love. You can tell a difference. He can attest to that. It tastes different. You don't know why. I think it has something to do with that they don't have antibiotics or added hormones.
And they're not adding it and injecting it. Like even the chicken is so dense, man. The chicken and we had we cooked some of the steaks, and the steaks were so good,
unbelievably good.
Yeah.
And it must be like the prep and how they get it to you. It's all they're just.
And I'm not a big fan of pork. We had some pork loin that I was like, holy. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's really good, like kind of clean tasting. Every box has between 8 to 14 pounds of meat, depending on what you choose. You can choose your own, or they have pre-selected ones. And it comes to your house. You don't have to leave your house. You can never have to shop for ground beef again. ButcherBox is giving new members free ground beef for life. Just sign up at butcherbox.com/Titus, and then you get 2 pounds of free ground beef in every order for the entire life of your membership, forever until now on with ButcherBox. 2 pounds of free ground beef. Go to butcherbox.com/Titus to claim the deal. I don't understand how they can do that. That's crazy. So if you stay with ButcherBox, which we've now been with them 3 years, that would be every order every month. Well, depending on your frequency. 2 pounds for free for how many people? That's crazy.
Well, the good news is when Armageddon happens, we can feed everyone, have hamburgers.
We're going to be the ones that are killed for our hamburger.
Maybe that's what's wrong with the garage.
They're not going to let us live to share our hamburger.
I would do that. Might be my first job. In Armageddon, I'm going to be the first guy to be like, hey, well, let's share with you. You can take some. Take some. I'm going to be that guy.
That's not me. Like,
you know,
you should be shh. That's my wife. Hold on, let me talk to her for a second.
Take as much as you want.
Babe, we need to build a team here.
My brother, so you could totally take.
Did you tell me to get it? You give him the
you could totally take your solo stove. My brother's like Boy Scout packs when the cabin power was out. I did it. Foil, make a hamburger patty. Onions.
You can cook on it.
This is in a fire. We used to do this in a bonfire. Onions, green peppers, sliced potatoes, and do Tony's or a little butter. Seal the pack and put it in the coals. You could totally do that on a solo stove.
We did that when the power went out of the cabin, yeah.
I did it in our fireplace.
Power's not going out of the cabin now because there's no snow, because we are in a... So, I guess the last subject we covered before we wrap it up. More death and destruction. We are in a 1,200-year drought cycle. 1,200. And they're saying that it could last till 2030 is what you said?
Yeah.
So, California will be ashes. We will be burnt down. We're having fires in February now. I went outside. I got my car a couple days ago. It was 96 degrees in my car.
It's
my
February.
car, and I'm like, well, that's, but wait, it's February.
Wait. It was 96 degrees in your car?
My car said 96. So then I drove it, let it cool off.
Yep.
And then it said 92.
Maybe that guy just passed out. Maybe it's just...
the guy that died at the beginning of the podcast? I forgot about him already.
At first. Poor guy.
The heat of February is killing me.
Well, speaking of the heat of February.
Here we go again. Yes, there's another one.
This episode also brought to you by Sunday Lawn Care.
Because it's already summer, we're going to still have lawn equipment. Yeah.
Well, spring is almost here, but in California, summer's already here.
I'm so sad about that.
Our lawn, and because I have continued to use so you go to Sunday, getsunday.com. You can put in your address. You can see your house, aerial view of your house.
You have to, before you get your stuff, you have to put in your address. You have to put your address. They give you they do an aerial view of your house.
You sign up. They send you a thing to put your soil sample in. You send it back. And so your whole plan is tailored exactly for your dirt.
But they also kind of know, because of where your address is, they've already done the research. They know what your soil is kind of like. You send them the soil sample as a backup. Then they design a whole thing and send you exactly what your soil needs. So we had this, when we bought the house, we had this hedge. So
that's what I was just thinking about.
We had this hedge that was like, it was the saddest little hedge. It wasn't even the color green it was this weird color green, and you could see through it, and it had this weird dip in it.
13 inches high,
and it was this high off the.
It was like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree hedge.
Yes, it was. It was as if the Charlie Brown Christmas people had just said, "That's the hedge." So now she started. So we were getting the Sunday for the lawn, and it was making the lawn look amazing. And I said this one section was really dead. I said, start putting it under there, and she was doing that, and the hedge is now.
It's insane.
Tall. this tall and dark and like dark green, because our soil, which is kind of clay based, it's kind of hard. They came up with the right formula and it works.
Also, you're not
awesome.
using chemicals, which I love because we have 2 little fluffy butts that go out there. So you're not using pesticides and crap like that. They have their own types. They have fertilizer that have things in it like seaweed and iron and molasses. And so we don't have to worry about being out there or having the dogs on it. So you got to just try it. You put the pouches on your hose. So I was using some winter ready kind of stuff to keep it alive throughout. Well, now it's time to use the stuff. They just sent a new shipment. It's time. It's timed. It's crazy based on the season. Now this is what your lawn needs. It's been dormant. Now it needs
So now you don't have to be an amateur dad,
right?
Trying to figure out your lawn.
Or guess it.
No, they do it for you.
That's what I hate.
It's kind of nice.
It's already done, and the lawn looks good all year.
So old tires and beer is not good for your lawn, according to my dad. That's what he thought.
Parking an old refrigerator on the porch, not helping.
And then they also started their own line of pesticides and things like that for different stuff. But anyway, go look at it. Go to getsunday.com/Titus20 and you'll get 20% off. That's 20% off your own custom plan at getsunday.com/Titus20. An entire full season plan starts at $119 depending on what you pick, and then you get 20% off of that, and they just ship you the things when you're supposed to have them and tell you why and how to use it.
But also, I have spent so much money going to Lowe's or Home Depot to get stuff that
we
you
don't
need.
do that anymore.
And just for that stuff to show up and it
totally
works.
that saves your time and your money.
God.
Yeah,
but also it saves a lot of money because I go one time to
that
Lowe's.
might not work. That
might
isn't the
right, and I'm guessing I'm just throwing kills everything except for moles.
It has
By the
bone
way,
broth in it or something.
Bone broth. If anybody has a mole killer, could we have that? Please send us a mole killer. If you have any ideas on how to get rid of moles.
All of your ideas that you've already sent don't work, so send new ones.
Timonium, is that next week? And then Spokane. I thought it was Spokane.
Spokane's the week after that.
Oh, that's right. Because and I get to go scout locations for a movie.
It's very exciting.
That I get to direct. Hey, how cool is that?
Pretty cool.
I will be giving you updates on that as we go. Because I'm ready for it. In fact, I have to take a meeting on that actually right now.
Yes. I have to take a meeting.
I have to take a meeting on the movie I'm doing. Say that I'm busy. Got stuff to do.
Ken and I will just sit here and go bee boo bee boo because we don't.
Just every once in a while on Zoom, just stick your heads in.
You guys
Then
good?
slowly, we agree with what you just said. We agree. That's
anybody
a good
to say a line?
Just lean in each side. Just to be the weirdest.
We could be the Muppets.
And me never react.
We could be the old men in the theater.
Oh, he said that. Oh.
So, guys, go to ChristopherTitus.com to get all the dates. The lovely Rachel will be headlining on the Wednesday in Denver coming up.
What day is that? Does anybody know?
Oh, and local here in LA at Flappers.
March 18th.
March 2nd. I'll be doing...
Oh, you're the second? Well, you were still talking about me, I thought.
You have your laptop right there. You can...
I know. I'm just saying.
Here's where you're going to go.
March
go to
2nd is your night at Flappers. And then I'm doing March 18th in the main room at Flappers with the new show. So get tickets now. It's in Burbank. You can drive. If you're within 100 miles, I expect you to be there. I'll be sad if you're not.
Our friends on the club, too, and it's a great club.
Yeah.
I love Flappers.
And they have fresh baked cookies.
They have fresh baked cookies. Guys, thanks for watching on our YouTube channel, Christopher Titus TV. Please subscribe to it. Thank you for listening on Libsyn and all the other sites we're on. And please go to ChristopherTitus.com to get what you need. Or Rachel's website, which is
RachelBradleyComedy.com.
Don't forget to get Highlander's album, Misanthropics, right now. They can get it on
at thewillingbureau.com.
Yeah. TravelingWilburys.com. Go there.
And March. You
finally got mad, motherfucker.
March 9th, I'm headlining Denver Comedy Works South. So get tickets for that as well. He's there the 10th through the 12th.
And we are thinking in April. We actually picked a weekend to film this, didn't we?
For your special for Zero Side Effects.
We will give you updates on that next week. We're going to be filming Zero Side Effects ASAP. And then we're going back to Carrion Monsters, the rewrite of it, because I never got a chance to do it really live. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For myself, the Lovely Bombshell Ray, and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There could be only one.
No fact?
Fun
he
fact.
Forgot. Yeah. There can be only one fun fact.
Hybrid. There can be only one fun fact. One fact.
I forgot. I forgot to.
I know.
name
It's okay.
We'll do it. We'll do it again. We'll wrap it up again.
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're rolling.
And take 2.
No.
No, it's your fun
This
fact.
is raw.
Fun fact. I'm not
Here
going
it
to do the
goes.
voice because
You're pausing,
You can't
though,
help.
like you're about to
Whenever
do
you
the
take
voice.
over, you can't help but do the voice. It's okay. Do your best.
He
hey,
goes,
man. Hey, man. Start it casual.
Hey, everybody. Here's the fun fact, guys.
Okay, I like that.
I like hey,
All
everybody.
right.
Hey, everybody. Here's
Hey,
my fun
everybody.
fact. That's how you should start fun. Hey, everybody. Here's my fun fact.
Okay.
All right, fun fact, everybody. this hurts my throat. The Apollo 11 crew used hundreds of autographs as life insurance. Did you know that?
No.
Isn't that interesting?
He always says,
What does that
"Did you
mean?
know that?"
Did you know that? This is a fun fact, guys.
Oh, we're having fun. Trust
Yeah.
me.
Neil Armstrong and the Apollo 11 crew faced the real chance that they wouldn't return from the moon safely, leaving their families without financial support. This has been fucking healthcare has been
Wow.
fucking us over.
It's an issue for the astronauts.
Jesus Christ.
Healthcare was an issue for the
When
astronauts.
they went, and so they did this.
Yes.
Okay.
So, due to the extreme danger that they were about to face, they couldn't take out life insurance policies.
Oh, wow.
So
So
instead,
they wouldn't sit him down and write him a policy. So what do you do for a living? I'm an astronaut. Get the fuck out of my office.
they signed hundreds of autographs, which their families would have been able to sell if they didn't make it home.
Especially if they died on that mission.
Oh my God! So please,
This is terrible.
Do you want to buy? I don't want to. If I want that autograph.
A
everyone,
lot of
please go
people
to
would.
ChristopherTitus.com.
Where'd you get that autograph? It's of a failure.
We have autograph posters online.
They didn't make it back.
Yeah, you can buy
Speaking of
our
autographs, you want to get autograph posters of me as a clown? You can.
Yeah.
No, guys, thanks for listening. And peace out. California love. Dun, 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 dun.